Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajahatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahakana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhayeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. Mataji, thank you very much for making yourself available and giving us your precious time. We are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and we are on Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 33. Mataji, would you like us to read the text?
Yes, if there's anybody who would like to read, yes.
Anybody would like to read? I can continue if no one volunteers. Narayanam Namaskar. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudestate Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 33. Aham eva sam eva grinam yad yad sad asad param paschad aham yad etacha yo vashishyate shoshmiyam. Hare Krishna. The translation. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. So Mataji, we have read till the fourth paragraph. Today, can we just read the fifth paragraph and then hand over to you?
Yes, sure.
Can we go on to the fifth paragraph? The impersonalist adduces no activity in the Supreme, but it is this discussion between Brahma and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord, is said to have activities also, as he has his form and quality. The activities of Brahma and other demigods during the maintenance of the creation are to be understood as the activities of the Lord. The king or the head executive of a state may not be seen in the government offices, but he may be engaged in royal comforts. Yet he should be understood that everything is being done under his direction and everything is at his command. The personality of Godhead is never formless. In the material world, he may not be visible in his personal form to the less intelligent class of men, and therefore he may sometimes be called formless, but actually he is always in his eternal form in his Vaikuntha planets, as well as in his other planets of the universes as different incarnations. The examples of the sun is very appropriate in this connection. The sun in the night may not be visible to the eyes of the men in the darkness, but the sun is visible wherever it has risen. That the sun is not visible to the eyes of the inhabitants of a particular part of the earth does not mean that the sun has no form. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
Dandavad
Thank you very
Pranam.
much.
Please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined the group and are about to join or will later see this online. I hand over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm always very grateful for this opportunity. So, in this particular verse, we see Srila Prabhupada, and it's a very long purport. Srila Prabhupada is really trying to kill this concept of this impersonal philosophy. His pranam mantra, sunyavadi and nirvisesha, come to annihilate this impersonal philosophy and this philosophy of Mayavad philosophy, that it's either all one, it's formless, or we are all one and we are God. So that was his in his pranam mantra, which is so much emphasis. This was one of his main mission statements, to come and kill these philosophies which are so prevalent in India, this impersonalism, this mayavadi, or that, or it's zero, sunya, zero. And so we can see the emphasis in this purport. His so many angles he's taking, so many examples, so many analogies he's given, that no, God is a person. God is a person. So let's bring out my notes. Okay. So it was something very, very important, something very much needed. And so at this point, for whoever is present, I'd like you to just take a minute and just close your eyes and take maybe 2 or 3 deep breaths. Just kind of like just try and just relax your mind completely. Take a few deep breaths and then just imagine. So imagine you're just a spark of soul and you're just floating around in Brahmajyoti, Krishna's effulgence, this light. This light is nothing but Krishna's effulgence. And you're just this spark of soul, of spirit soul. And literally all you're doing is you're just floating around in this effulgence. That's all. There's no activity. There is no relationship. There is no connection. There's no rasa. There's no service. All you're doing is you're just floating around. As opposed to the end goal being us in the spiritual world, perhaps assisting Srimati Radharani in serving Krishna, assisting, perhaps being an assistant of the assistant of the assistant in her cooking for Krishna, as opposed to helping collect flowers to make garlands for Krishna, maybe fanning the divine couple, maybe swinging the divine couple. So full of divine rasa, so full of feelings, full of laughter, joking, So where is the comparison? This floating around in Brahmajyoti is first of all, is this incomplete. Satchit Ananda. So Sat, there's Chit, and then there's Ananda. Sat is the eternality factor. So this floating around in Brahmajyoti with no form, just being one, quote unquote, being one, is the only aspect there is there of out of these three is eternality. There is no being fully cognizant, or there's no bliss. So it's completely incomplete. It exists, it's there, but it's completely incomplete. Or even as opposed to, so that, in other words, if this philosophy means that there is actually more variegatedness, there's more variety here in the material world, in this conditioned state, then there will be where we are supposed to be going. So, or as opposed to here, being fully engaged in service, hearing, chanting, following the orders of the spiritual master, following the orders of Srila Prabhupada, taking part in the Sankirtan mission, which means there's just even more to do here in the material world than there is to do where we would be aiming to go. It actually, on one level, it doesn't even make sense, So, but devotional service, bhakti yoga, serving Krishna, is complete because it has eternality, because we're eternally servants of Krishna. We're fully cognizant in the spiritual world, and we're fully blissful. And the bliss is ever increasing. It does not stagnate. It's ever increasing. So we have been on this chapter and we've been hearing over and over again, he is the cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the cause of all causes. There is no cause beyond him. He's primeval, Everything emanates from him. And everything at the time of annihilation, everything is absorbed back into him. Everything is his energy, whether it's material energy, marginal energy, or spiritual energy. But nothing exists without his energy. We do not exist without him. Everything that we see, we are, we feel, is his energy. So, so this can be interpreted, and this philosophy, Bhagavad Gita, is being interpreted by impersonalists to mean that he's formless, because if God has form, then how can he be everywhere? And how can he be everything? And how can he be omnipresent and omniscient if he has form? So all these statements can be misleading, especially to a neophyte devotee, because how can it be both? How can it be both? How can he be everywhere, ever present, fully cognizant, everywhere, and yet at the same time have a form? So because in this conditioned state, our mind is conditioned, our mind is so limited, and we are so contaminated, our mind cannot fathom. So hence, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propounded the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva, simultaneously one and different. Simultaneously one and different. So yes, he has an impersonal feature, the Brahmajyoti, his effulgence, but it is not ultimate. It is not complete. Yes, Krishna is energy. Krishna is light. Krishna is everywhere. Krishna is omniscient. Krishna is omnipresent, but he's a person at the same time. And he is the source of the energy and the light. Again, this Achintya Veda, but simultaneously one and different. So the example given is like Brahma, Narada, and all others are simultaneously one with the Lord and different from the Supreme Lord. So we are all one with him because we are part and parcel of him. It's like Srila Prabhupada gives the analogy of there's an ocean and then there's a drop of that ocean. Now, qualitatively we are one, but quantitatively we are not one. And another analogy is given is just as the gold ornaments, they're in one quality with the original stock of gold. But the individual gold ornament is never equal in quantity with the stock of gold. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, text 15, there's a verse, I don't have the Sanskrit here, but I have the translation. The Supersoul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all the modes of material nature. So in this verse, we can understand through the philosophy of Achintya Veda Abheda Tattva that he is the source of material energy. He's a source of material energy, but yet completely unattached and independent of it. We are dependent on these modes of material nature, this material energy. We're completely engrossed in it. But Krishna is, this energy is his, but he's completely independent. So again, another example of this simultaneously one and different. He is, and at the same time, he is not. So in the Bhagavad Gita, I'm in everything and everything is in me, yet I'm above everything. So again, this one and different. And Srimad Bhagavatam, the 7th canto, chapter 9, text 35, there's a purport. So I'll just read that part of the purport. When one is completely in knowledge of Aham Brahmasmi, he thinks, I'm part of the Supreme Lord. My body is made of his material energy, and therefore I have no separate existence. Yet although the Supreme Lord is spread everywhere, he is different from me. This is the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. An example given in this regard is that of the aroma within the earth. In the earth, there are aromas and colors, but no one can see them. Actually, we find that when flowers grow from the earth, they appear with different colors and aromas, which they have certainly gathered from the earth, although in the earth we cannot see them. So here again, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining this philosophy that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propounded. He's giving this example that we have no separate existence without the Lord because we're made up of his energy. Yet we are separate from him, just like the flower growing from earth, the color, the aroma, which we don't see in the earth. So achintya means inconceivable. This philosophy is, we cannot completely comprehend. It's not completely fathomable because right now we're in this conditioned state of mind. So the reason why this philosophy is so popular and people buy into it so easily is because if everything is one or everything is energy, then what it is then we're not answerable to anyone. Basically, we can continue with our life. We can continue with our nonsense life. We can continue breaking the principles. We can continue committing all sinful activities. Why? Because in the end, it is all one. It doesn't matter. It's just, we are all one. So what does it matter? What difference do my actions make then? So it's all so airy-fairy. You're not answerable to anybody. You don't have any kind of sense of responsibility. You're not bound by any principles. So also this impersonal philosophy, people buy it. It's very attractive because there's also nothing or nobody to surrender to. Surrender to what? Because it's all one. Ultimately, it's all one. So surrender to what, or surrender to who? There's no element of submission, of surrender. So this is why, especially in this day and age, it's so popular. It's so easy to buy into, because then you don't have to, you don't have to change anything. You continue living your life as it is. And at the end, yes, we're all one. It's so beautiful, so amazing. Life is so good. So this is why it is spread everywhere, this impersonal philosophy. But um, it exists, it's not the highest. And for souls who do make it to the Brahmajyoti, they eventually actually get so fed up that they do come back to earth. And it is, Srila Prabhupada explains that they come back as big philanthropists or big, people who are into charity, building hospitals and schools. But eventually they all come back, because you just can't exist in oblivion without any activity. We're individuals, and we have an individual relationship with the person God, and which is based on devotional service, and that is, and we're practicing that, we're exercising that, so that eventually we can make it back to Godhead and serve Krishna there eternally in different relationships, different rasas. And that's the only time we're going to be fully satisfied, fully cognizant. So anything above that, anything below that, is just never going to satisfy us completely. It never will satisfy us completely. Um, Also, another very important point is that also and this is very good for devotees to keep in mind when maybe you're having a discussion with people who are, pushing forward this impersonal philosophy, that if the ultimate goal was impersonalism, if the ultimate goal was that we are all one, then there would have been no need of Srimad Bhagavatam. There would have been absolutely no need of Srimad Bhagavatam. There would have been no need of the Lord bringing us his pastimes between him and his devotees in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. There would have been no need. Because what would have been the need? Because that's not our goal anyway. So there would have been no need of Srimad Bhagavatam displaying and demonstrating to us the beautiful, loving exchanges between the Lord and his devotees. There would have been no need of personalities like Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis and all the other associates descending from the spiritual world and paving the way for us, showing us the way, showing us how to execute bhakti yoga, showing us how to behave. They wrote volumes and volumes of books on devotional service, on exchanges between devotees, on how to become a devotee, how to relate, there would have been no need. Why would we have needed all this? Because, so there would have been no need of all this elaborate literature to show us how to love Krishna the person. Also, there would have been no need of Lord Chaitanya appearing as a devotee, exemplifying the deepest rasa, mellows of devotional service. None of this, we would not have needed any of these things. There would have been no need of deity worship. because at the end we are all one. So what is the point of deity worship? And I've had a very strong example of this many years ago. I had gone to South India to do a yoga teacher training course. And so alongside the actual yoga asanas, of course, they have to teach some philosophy. So they were, teaching about Lord Shiva, Durga, Vishnu, a whole month of, okay. And then in the end, interestingly, in the end, they told us that all these gods or demigods are only symbolic. And I thought, what? After a month of teaching Lord Shiva, this is, their conclusion is that it's all symbolic. So I thought, this doesn't make sense. How can you teach, you do all these pujas, you do all these rituals, and then say it's all symbolic? It was just like, oh my God. And I understood how dangerous this impersonal philosophy, this Mayavad philosophy can be, you know. So, Bhagavad Gita would have been enough, because we could have interpreted Bhagavad Gita in the most impersonal way, because it's just a manual that teaches us how to live. We can very easily take Krishna out of the picture, but anything else, there would have been no need of. So the fact that all these personalities have appeared in volumes and volumes of literature, the Vrindavan Dham, the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses, just teaching us how to become devotees of the person Krishna, how to love the person Krishna, just completely annihilates the impersonal philosophy. And an ending note, I just like to emphasize that yes, we can very easily separate us, like bhakti yogis, from the impersonalists. We are personalists, they're impersonalists. Oh, these people, blah blah blah. But at the same time, we have to be very, very, very conscious of our impersonal attitude within the movement, within ISKCON. We are a personal movement with a lot of impersonalism within us. And this completely reflects in the way we relate to other devotees, in our connections with our other devotees, how we treat other devotees, what is our service attitude towards other devotees. So this whole impersonal aspect, this whole is not just out there or these impersonalists. No. It's very much within us. It's very much within the movement as well. And it is very important on a very individual level to be very conscious how we treat each other, how we look after each other, how we take care of each other. Because it's very easy. It's easier to be impersonal than it is to be personal, Very easy to just kind of like block out, I'm doing my thing, da 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 da. No, we see Srila Prabhupada over and over and over again, how he was so concerned about the health of his disciples, whether they've taken prasadam. I mean, how painstakingly he used to cook those feasts early in the days in America, and clean and serve and clean up after that. We know His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Anytime you met him, no matter where, it's like, okay, have you taken prasad? Have you got a place to stay? Are you comfortable? So important to bring in and maintain and always be conscious of how personally or how impersonally we're dealing with each other. New people, guests walking into the temple, how are they being treated? How are they being welcomed? To think that finally a soul through some Agyata Sukriti has made it to the temple. And then there's just not much in terms of relating or connecting or making them feel welcome or talking to them, that's impersonal. How we serve devotees during prasadam, or how we treat them lesser or more, or black or brown or white or rich or poor. These are all aspects of impersonalism, and it is very much there in our movement on a daily basis. So it is just us on an individual level, be the change you want to see. It has to start, it starts with us. So to kill this impersonal philosophy, this impersonal aspect within us. And this is what is going to, this is how we will be able to cooperate with each other. And this is what Srila Prabhupada said. One of the most important things, is you'll show your love for me in how you cooperate with each other. Such an important statement. He could have said so many things. He could have said so many things. But this is what he said. This is how you're going to show your love to me. So, yeah, let's be careful of this impersonalism within us, and let's work on that, change, and especially with devotees. I always say association of devotees is our oxygen. It what keeps us alive in Krishna consciousness. It's what gives us enthusiasm, inspiration, the examples we see. It's so, without the association of devotees, we're nothing. So I always feel the association of devotees is our oxygen. And I don't even mean like, some pure devotee, some pure sadhu. Yes, of course. I'm talking about day-to-day devotees that you're working alongside, that you are associating with, that, junior, senior, same level. Without these devotees, it was very, very difficult to maintain our Krishna consciousness. So yeah, so this oxygen, let's enrich this oxygen. Let's have a community based on love and friendship. Srila Rupa Goswami, the 6 exchanges, confiding with each other. How are we going to ever confide with other devotees if we don't trust devotees? How am I going to be able to, how is somebody ever going to come and confide in me if then the very next minute I'm going to go and share whatever was confided to another devotee? Oh, do you know what this devotee told me? Oh, she's having trouble with this, and this. Can you imagine? How are we going to develop these loving relationships? Exchanges of gifts, exchanging of prasadam. Like Maharaj, His Holiness Brihad Bhagavat Maharaj, it's time he was saying that he comes here, he gets invited almost every day for lunch at different devotees' houses. And he said, sannyasis always get invited, but invite each other. Invite each other. It doesn't have to be a big, elaborate house program. No, just invite each other and and have prasadam together. And in this way, develop loving relationships. And this will really please our Guru Maharaj. This will really please Srila Prabhupada. This will really please Krishna. So that there is no Krishna without the devotees. There just isn't. That's completely Kanishta platform. That's completely neophyte, We will not be able to make much progress, but we go to Krishna by serving dasa anudas, becoming the servant of the servant of the servant, by bringing in this personal concept. You need help, I'm there. You don't, we're there, I'm there. Without much discrimination, without, so it with a nice way to move forward within the movement. And thus, I feel would really, really please Srila Prabhupada and Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So I'll end my class here. If there are any questions, any comments, any corrections, please.
Thank you very much, Mataji. And what an important point you mentioned. And as you were taking us through the impersonalism, I was seeing a lot of things that I have gaps in personally. I don't know about other devotees, but there's lots of room for improvement, and this has never been pointed out before. So, what an important point you made, that being personal is so important with each other. I mean, leave aside devotees, but even with each other. And then only you can be personal with Krishna. So maybe that is what is the crux of the matter. And you hit the nail on the head, for me at least today. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you very
Mataji,
much.
I just wanted to ask you a question. So for a new person, how do I mean, you say you have read the whole Ramayana and now you are asking me who's Ram and Sita. But I just wanted, uh, in a very simple way, if I met somebody and I wanted to tell that person that Krishna is personal, Krishna is a form, how do I start? How do I tell them?
They're coming from an impersonal background.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, so you have to first agree that religion is any religion, the goal of any religion is to love God. And then you can explain to them nicely that you cannot love light, or you can't just love energy. You cannot. You can love a person. Why? Because then there's exchange, there's a relationship. And then ask them, who do you love? They say, okay, maybe I love my child or I love my husband. Yeah, why? Because there's a person. There's certain qualities you love about that person. There's certain things you love doing for that person. It's service. So there's relationship, there's qualities, there's service. You love spending time with that person, so there's connection. Now these things can only happen if the other person is a person. Cannot be light, cannot be energy. Light and energy are features of that person, but what we serve, what is basically religion, that's a person. Yeah, just keep it simple, apply it to them. Can you love light? Can you love literally light, a bulb? No, because what? There's nothing there. There's no relationship. There's no exchange. So religion means love. Love means exchange, means connection, means service. And that you can only do with another person. And then maybe just clarify that God is a person, but he doesn't have a material body of bone and flesh and all that. He has a spiritual body, Satchit Ananda. So that would be like, okay. So we're not just bringing God down to material body, but that God is spiritual, but he has a spiritual form. Yeah, those are the 2 points that I would really emphasize on. I've seen like Manasi Ganga Mataji and Umapati Prabhu always kind of like just keep it to these few points. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji, for that clarification.
Thank
I
you.
open it up to the group. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I am really so enlightened with your lecture, Mataji, or your talk, because I really longed for this loving friendship relationship that Prabhupada talked about. I long for it, and I put my whole heart and soul in it. And after a while, I'm disheartened at the moment, and I've actually started withdrawing, which is not nice. It's not in my nature. And so I feel that, you talk about association with devotees. That's where I found that it was somewhere I could really put total trust and all my self in the loving kindness that I possess. And it's you'll be surprised, really. I don't know if you've experienced it, but it's only recently I experienced this, because I didn't believe when people used to tell. I didn't listen to them. But in the devotional service that we perform, there's such a great high competition, and there's discrimination, as you say, about the service. I focus mainly on book distribution, but I do a lot more voluntary, um, you know, things that are needed. I join in, doesn't matter what it is. And I just found myself lost in it all, and disbelief. But and to be safe, I just withdrew in a way recently, and most people have noticed, but there's no effort in making it any different, if you see what I mean. So I'm disheartened, but I don't give up, put it that way. I'm persevering, and I'm as strong as Prabhupada says. The strength is there to continue, and seeking for this love, kind relationship, that we value each other, we care about each other, we serve each other, we make sure nobody gets left. I'm always one for seeking out and pointing to the underprivileged and the ones that are really left out and haven't got a voice. Sorry, my voice is going. So yeah, so I feel lost in this sense about personalism.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
didn't relate to personalism in this way when I heard lectures on it. I always used to think, oh, it's to do with God and just a few that choose to compete with God. But I didn't, and I'm so pleased you brought it. And it's only by chance I got to this talk tonight, but Krishna sent me for some refreshment. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, thank you. Yes, there is a lot of impersonalism within the movement, as I said, and there's a lot of emphasis on preaching and bringing people to Krishna consciousness. But what happens after you've done that, Because for devotees, that's when the journey starts, and it's going to be very rocky because we're dealing with anarthas. We're dealing with devotees struggling with the principles. Everything is happening in the movement, and so many devotees have withdrawn, so many devotees have left. So much blood and sweat and goes into making one devotee and then losing so much. So, and hence I say the onus is on each and every one of us. Be the change you want to see. So, I think the way I see it is for me is putting myself out there more, being that person that people can come and talk to, being open to inviting devotees more, being just being there, I'm here. I'm not here to judge you. I don't care who you are. I'm here. What do you want? How can I help you in your journey? So be the change you want to see. And yes, I think that's the only way forward, I think on the GBC level, I'm pretty sure they're aware of how impersonal it is. Maybe in time, I'm hoping the priorities will be set right, that, hey, what about all this? We're making devotees so much energy into book emphasis, book distribution, Harina, yes, make devotees. What about, but let's put the same amount of energy into maintaining the devotees. Let's create a loving community where there's support. And so we have a long distance to go, but it starts with all of us on an individual level. Any devotee in need of anything, like just to be present, to be accessible, to be available, and to be willing to help. I think we just have to start on that individual level, and maybe that love will then just grow and grow and grow. And yeah,
I do agree with you, and I do try that. But I have something against me because I don't speak some of the languages, and so when
okay,
I'm doing books, I'm about to make a sale, and somebody would come and speak Gujarati or something else, and take the sale, and then they take pictures, and okay, that doesn't bother me.
yeah,
I don't think I don't need to be glorified. I feel good when I'm doing it, so that's enough. I don't do it, but I've witnessed. I feel the same as you're saying. I feel good doing what I do. It's just that recently, people that you trust that show interest in you as well. They, I mean, originally people weren't speaking to me so much, but now most of them come to me and they recognize me.
yeah. What
But you were
country?
saying something about. Sorry, Mataji. I'm so
What
sorry. I'm so
country?
passionate
No, no.
about
What
this.
country are you from?
Sorry,
From what country?
Guyana.
Oh, wonderful, amazing. Okay.
Yes, so I don't speak English. I mean, I only speak English, and it's not the best of English. But
Mm,
but I was thinking about you said something about treat people as as you would like to be treated and all that. It's one of my main way of being.
mm,
So, and I do get good results. I mean, people come to me from outside, mostly with their troubles, as though I
mm,
got it written on my forehead, inviting that in a way. But I spend a lot of time with them, and
mm,
show them around, and make them feel comfortable, and they come to the temple, which is my reward. Well, shall I say reward? It's a sense of purpose, really.
mm,
So, but I long for this loving friendship that you talk about. Devotees, the association I seek out is, and I keep going, I keep going. I don't stop, and I never come away feeling totally, you know, let down. So, but I'm surprised, put it that way, that it happened. But we all have baggages, don't we? So
mm,
obviously we carry the baggages. It doesn't get dismissed totally, and
mm,
and as you say, we have to work on it. And I'm trying to do that. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time, but it
mm,
is it's real. Reality has it that it's not perfect. Like we paint this perfect picture when you go to Krishna consciousness. It's not. and
mm.
and 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 I understand it, and that's what keeps me going. We're
Yeah,
all humans, and we live in a material world. We contaminated, so it's hard to shake it all off. But like the prasadam, as you say, don't it, is favored to some people and not to others, and this is something that really hurts me, because so much waste is in the world, and some people don't get, so that's kind of thing. But anyway, we have
yeah.
to live with it and try and overlook this. I remember Prabhupada saying to one of his disciples, don't look for it and you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, that's a
But
nice
yeah,
way. Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I think training also, this time His Holiness Bhagavad Maharaj, I'm seeing, so he's emphasizing so much on devotee care, on deeper relationships. I feel that's been his most like his theme now is devotee care. So I think as that the classes turn into that devotee care, there'll be more training. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just lack of training, like lack of awareness, but there is hope. I feel there is hope.
Yeah, yeah, sure. We are one of the most progressive temples, I must say, in
Yeah.
in in Hertfordshire. You know where we are, the manor.
Okay, yes,
Have
yes,
you
yes.
been to the manor?
Yes, I have been,
It's
yes, yeah.
beautiful. Yes, it's really progressive, and it's going very fast. And I
Hmm.
don't know even the people who are responsible for the speed, whether they're able to see it. I'm not sure, but anyway, they were all on our level to begin with, so they know what goes on, I'm sure. And as you
Yes,
say, the hierarchical people, they're aware, I'm sure.
yes,
It's like going to work or the government, you know, you have these levels of different people. They're aware what's going on because they've
yeah,
been there, they've done it. So they can't say they don't know.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think as time goes, there will be more and more purity in the movement, and there'll be more maturity, you know. Yeah, as
So
as we keep
thank you. Yeah.
chanting, as we keep, we all, like to say, we all on anartha nivritti, we all have so much garbage in our heart, and this is what we bring into the movement, you know.
Yes.
As
Yeah.
all that gets cleared, we will be more and more pure, and then we will understand what is more important. We'll get, then our priorities will change and set. Hopefully, we'll get our priorities right then as a movement.
Mm. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you very much, everybody, for putting
Thank
up
you,
with it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So I teach children, so all my stories are not from the Srimad Bhagavatam. They are on uh, based on lots of other things as well. So when we were talking of this, I remembered a story about the hedgehog. I don't know whether you all know about the hedgehog effect. So there was a drought. I mean, there was this freezing condition in the forest, and it was very, very cold, and the hedgehogs were dying because they needed the warmth. So they
Mhm.
decided that they'll all come together and be together, so each and everybody's body would heat up, and once they are in a cluster, they can keep themselves warm. But as you are aware, hedgehogs have these these prickly things on
Yes,
their body. So
yes.
they when they got together, somebody was getting hurt, somebody was getting more, somebody was bleeding. The one who was bashing into the center was getting hurt the most because he had the pines of everybody else hurting him. So, so it was a choice between living and dying because there were hedgehogs who didn't want to join the group, who was impersonalist probably, and they were just outside the group and they were dying because the frost was there and it was too cold for them to survive. But this group who were together but getting hurt and getting pricked and poked and bled, they survived. So, sorry, Mataji, that I want to hug you first that you have had this experience, but this is life, and the only way we will survive is with association. So I know there'll be lots of people pricking us, and we'll have a lot of bleeds, but we should just keep the goal in our head. I'm not there, definitely, but I'm walking the journey, and that without association will disintegrate. So the
Mm,
frost is bad out there. I mean, the material world, you can get swayed in it in just a second. I mean, 20 years of your bhakti will just go in a minute. And we've seen in Srimad Bhagavatam also lots of examples, but in reality as well, it can happen. It is happening. But
yeah.
in spite of the
Yeah,
pricks and
thank you
pains
so
and the
much.
bleed,
That's a beautiful
stay together.
example. Thank you.
Stay together. Stay
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yes,
Don't
I
lose
agree. And
association.
Mataji, you're so right, you know. Um, and there isn't anybody who doesn't get pricked, but it's in
Mm,
a different way by different people. So we all have that moment. So I'm not complaining in a way that I give up.
mm.
I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
I
Stay
am
together. Stay
I'm a
Such
together.
a
fighter,
wonderful
yes.
example. Such a wonderful example. It's like they say, no, we're all we're all in the hospital. We're not cured yet. We're all in the hospital. We're all under the shower. We're not clean yet. It's like we're all in a mental hospital. So we were not cured yet, but we will get there, we will get there. And in the meantime, yes, Srila Prabhupada said, spiritual life is difficult, material life is impossible, you know. So better to tolerate the difficulty a little bit. And just, yes, yes, yes. Wonderful, 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 wonderful.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other questions or comments from the group? If there are no questions or comments, then I can request Bhakta Mugo Dennis to end the session for today, this wonderful session. Maybe he's not able to do it, I can do it.
Okay.
Thank you, Bhaktaji, for this wonderful session. Let us all unmute and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once in glorification of Aswariyalila Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada
Hare
ki
Jai.
jai. Our Grace Aswariyalila Mataji ki
Jai.
Thank you.
Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you everybody.
May I
for
ask where
joining us.
you are, Mataji? Where are you from?
Kenya.
Ah, right. So you near with Mataji there, is it?
Different
County.
towns, yeah.
Yes,
Almost
Haribo.
8 hours away from each other, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much for enlightening
Thank
us. Haribo.
Thank you.
Come
Haribol,
again.
Hare Krishna.
Every Mondays. She's very timely. Every
Oh, is it
Monday.
every Monday? Oh
Yes.
my, I got to tell myself come again more.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so
Haribo.
much.
We've got very good speakers throughout the week. So join at least for a week and then you'll see.
Mataji, I don't think I haven't got the link. I just had to go in. I had to go to one of the old. I don't
If you
think
can
I got
share
put
with
on.
me your number, I
O
can
double
add you
seven
onto the.
nine six.
Sorry?
O double 796
0796
77
0796
620
620
4.
0796 620
Yes, thank you so
So there are
much.
2 7s, 2 6s, and 2 5s.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
You
Thank you.
Very
Thank you so much.